Jessica Kwong, a reporter who wrote an inaccurate story about President Trump, has been fired from Newsweek. Hey freethinkers, Chandler here. First of all, I'd like to say welcome to December. I know this is going to be a great month. And if you're watching this in a month that's not December, I know it will be great. Just keep it up. Now, before we move forward into the rest of 2019 and 2020, let's look back into November for a second. More specifically, Thanksgiving. Now, you all may know that on Thanksgiving, President Trump visited American troops in Afghanistan. He helped serve American troops their meal, then he went on to meet with local leaders of Afghanistan to negotiate a ceasefire with the Taliban. I mentioned in a previous video that President Trump made an effort to not make it too clear what he was doing on Thanksgiving. Well, as could be expected, under the guise of secrecy from the administration, the media reported false information. Newsweek reporter Jessica Kwong wrote a story that traveled around Twitter on Thanksgiving due to its headline and contents. The original headline for the story was this: "How is Trump spending Thanksgiving? Tweeting, golfing, and more." As you could probably expect, the article was meant to turn heads, and that it did, because it was false. But it's not quite as simple as that, you see. I mean, sure, it was false, but there's kind of a deeper story in there that we're gonna get to. So stay tuned. The article was written at a time when it wasn't public information that President Trump was in Afghanistan. In fact, most of the media was under the impression that President Trump was at Mar-a-Lago. In fact, even when President Trump traveled to Afghanistan, he ordered that the press corps and his own staff forfeit their phones before the trip so word wouldn't get out. This all adds up to the media simply reporting what they knew. Of course, adding their own anti-Trump twist to it, as you could expect. It is the media after all. Many on the right responded negatively to the story, especially after it was announced that he was in Afghanistan. Donald Trump Jr. put out a tweet saying "fake news gonna fake," posting a picture showing the headline of the article contrasted with a picture of President Donald Trump serving food to soldiers in Afghanistan. Many other conservative activists weighed in as well, including President Trump. He quote tweeted his son and simply asked, "I thought Newsweek was out of business." Upon the realization of their mistake, Newsweek, hours after the publication of the original post, edited the post and made some changes. Jessica Kwong, the author of the original article, went to Twitter to delete the tweet linking the original article and posting a new tweet noting the correction. The tweet read, and I quote, "Trump headed to Afghanistan to surprise US troops on Thanksgiving, deleting this tweet because it was written before knowing about the president's surprise visit to Afghanistan. An honest mistake. Story has been updated as shown in the screenshot." Jessica had posted this tweet to Twitter, and it seemed that all balance had been restored. Oh, if only she knew. That is how things were. Until shortly thereafter, Jessica Kwong was let go from Newsweek. In a statement by Newsweek, it was announced that the article was updated to include the new information, and that the author of the original article was terminated. This being Jessica Kwong. Their statement is as follows. Newsweek investigated the failures that led to the publication of the inaccurate report that President Trump spent Thanksgiving tweeting and golfing rather than visiting troops in Afghanistan. The story has been corrected, and the journalist responsible has been terminated. We will continue to review our processes, and if required, take further action. Interesting stuff, isn't it? Now, you may be thinking to yourself, well, I guess that's the end of the story, right? Catch you next time, freethinkers? Well, no. As things always do around here, they get so much better than that. Or worse, depending on your point of view. On November 30th, nearly 2 days after the publication of the article, Jessica Kwong broke her silence and spoke to the Washington Examiner. She told the Examiner that she was assigned before the holiday to write a story on the president's actions on Thanksgiving. Jessica contacted her editor and relayed the latest information she had, which at the time was nothing but a golf trip. Hours after the revelation of his true Thanksgiving plans, the same editor that Jessica reached out to contacted a completely different author to rewrite the story. By the time the other author had rewritten the story, the damage to Mrs. Kwong's reputation had already been done. Jessica Kwong is sensibly placing some of the blame on her editor, and I can honestly understand it, and even to an extent agree. Do I believe Jessica Kwong should have lost her job? No. Do I believe she should have been punished for her story? Yes. More people, however, are calling for the termination of the editor, in addition to Mrs. Kwong. Newsweek did not comment on any further information or actions, rather that they are just monitoring the situation. But I want to know, what are your opinions on this story? Do you think Mrs. Kwong is in the wrong and she deserved to lose her job? Or do you agree that maybe she should have kept her job and just been reprimanded or punished for it? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And remember, I read a lot of the comments, so I'll see what you have to say. If you'd like to support the growth of the channel, please be sure to check out my donor box. Head over to donorbox.org/support-Chandler. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram to keep up with what's going on. Aside from all that, I'll catch you next time, freethinkers. Don't forget to spread the virus of intelligence.